given what we've been through as a town these past 6 years, given what we've just outlined through the bridge plan, given what shortfall and some unforeseen things that we're seeing here in the next couple of years, my point around new growth is something that I feel really strongly about, and I feel like we need to get more going from that perspective. And to that point, there have been ongoing discussions with some businesses to get some of that moving. And it was my hope to be in a position, either by election time or certainly by town meeting, to make some sort of an announcement given the outcome of those discussions. I've not gotten to that point yet. There's been a delay. And so for that reason only, I would like to stay on as chair for a small period of time to complete those discussions and bring it to the board as chairman.
Before we even go any further, if you're acting on behalf of the board in private negotiations with companies, that is a problem for me. That should not be happening. If you're representing the board, we should be aware of that. I have an issue with that.
Not representing the board.
I think, as I've said in other meetings in the past, being the chair is not something that you get because it's your turn. You get it because you've got a vision and plans and priorities that the board wants to unify around and wants to move forward. And that some of those things are obvious, and sometimes people are in the right position at the right time, and it becomes the third year they become chair, and other times we have not done it that way. And I think we have to be cognizant of what are the things we're working on, what are the priorities, who do we have the trust in for driving those priorities, who do we have the trust in to lead the management of the board as it's shown to the town. Most towns in the Commonwealth don't rotate every 3 years through chairs. It varies all over the map based on what the town needs. I look at today and where we're at today and what we have to go through for the next 3 months. And I don't see a need to change the organization of the board. That's my opinion. I don't think I have to make that motion.
I would say that, in my opinion, the chair should not be driving any agenda. The board should be driving the agenda. The chair controls the agenda. The chair controls the meeting. Beyond that, what we are doing should be as a board, not the chairman.
Very good. For that,
I'd like to make a few comments.
Yeah.
I have a prepared statement because obviously nothing is a surprise. First, I want to thank those in the community who elected me and have supported me in my service on the select board. I have many times leaned into that support along the way, so thank you sincerely. As many know, Plainville has traditionally followed a rotation in selecting the chair, and by that custom, I would have assumed the role tonight. Obviously, that did not happen. While I'm disappointed, obviously, I'm not surprised. This decision reflects a broader, ongoing challenge we face, not just in Plainville, but in many local governments. The quiet persistence of exclusionary practices where decisions are made in back rooms by the same few. This favors the same few voices, which also happen to be male voices. I think we need to ask hard questions about why tradition is upheld in some cases and suddenly discarded in others. And we need to be honest about the role that sexism and the boys' club mentality still play in local politics and at this table. This isn't just about a title. It's about equity, transparency, and respect for the process, for the position, and for every person who steps up to serve this town. While it is one thing to disenfranchise me personally, doing so also rejects the hundreds who voted for me and support me. I was elected just as Mr. Kelly and Mr. Johnson were elected, and the same as Mr. Wydeck was before me. I am not an elected junior member of the select board. That being said, I will continue to strive to make inroads where I can, and I remain committed to doing the work, asking hard questions, and representing the people of Plainville with the same integrity and determination that I have shown to date. I think there's a motion on the table in a second.
Where is it?
I move the question.
I'm not trying to belabor it, but I'm happy to talk more about it.
There's nothing more to say. The decision was made long before we got here.
There's no decision. I said what I'd like.
Okay.
Jeff said what he'd like.
Okay.
And we'd like to.
I just happened to have the prepared remarks. Okay.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't. That's.
Because it's so predictable. It's so predictable.
Yeah. Well,
You should reconsider your vote.
The motion on the table is to adjourn.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, you guys are assholes.